Mourners attending the Bali bombing commemorations in Kuta, where the deadly blast occurred, say they were horrified by a decision to show file footage of the 2002 tragedy. Some say they were disappointed to see the confronting vision when they'd expected tasteful tributes and a minute's silence for those 202 people killed in the terror attack. Joining us live now is the Bali bombing survivor, Jan Laczynski. He joins us from the memorial site in Bali. Jan, really appreciate your time. Thank you. Firstly, I'm so sorry you've had to go through this. This is the last thing any of us would want for you to feel traumatised all over again. Explain for us what was so upsetting. What images did the footage contain?
Well, just as if we've seen, everything was going reasonably well from the memorial at the Australian Consulate General early in the morning. Tributes there played floral tributes. Everything was going good. It was a solemn occasion until about 11 p.m. last night. That's when things suddenly changed. Instead of being a solemn occasion, we were expecting a minute's silence. What we got was it only seemed like a tribute video for a terrorist. You had the bomb maker, the self-styled person that calls himself the demolition man, Umar Patek, being paraded on the screen. You had Ali Imran, the driver of the bomb. Then you had the horrifying footage of which shown. It was shown with all the screens, all the people running, bodies being carried out. Not only once, they showed the video twice. I thought it might have been a mistake of some sort. It wasn't on any of the information guides here from the Australian Consul General or even on the Indonesian guides. Now, this is supposed to be harmony in diversity. Well, it certainly wasn't harmony last night at 11 p.m, which was supposed to be the most important time of this occasion here last night. And I saw, women running away in tears, crying uncontrollably. They tried to go to the Sari Club site here, and that was turned into some sort of makeshift military base there last night. And they couldn't even enter the Sari Club site to light some candles there when they came.
Gosh, it sounds really disappointing. You must have been tempted to leave as well. Obviously not at all what you were expecting.
I did. Once I took the video of Umar Patek, I thought, what on earth is this? This is not a place for the terrorists to be paraded around. What should be paraded around are the 202 people, the 88 Australians that were lost here. It was their night. It wasn't the terrorist night. It was these people's night. I mean, I heard a wonderful speech from our Prime Minister read out at the Australian Consul General Garden yesterday. It was a beautiful speech. I also heard a great moving speech from the premiers of the various states. And Mark McGowan pretty much summed it up for me when he's talking about Umar Patek. He shouldn't have any remissions. And yet, a few moments later, we got him up here on the big screens here saying, look at him. I mean, that image in itself was terrible. But then to show the bombing footages, both bombing footages, mind you, not 2002, 2005, the actual bomber walking into the restaurant, blowing himself up, that was shown. And I thought, how could this possibly be happening? It was just bizarre. Bizarre in the car.
So, Jan, just clarify for us, this was something that was organised by the Indonesian authorities, or did the Australian Consulate have input into this?
No. I gave the Australian Consulate General, Anthea, a hug. The look on her face told the whole story. She knew nothing about this at all. She knew nothing. She had a fantastic ceremony at the consulate. It was a moving ceremony there where the families were all together as one. And I saw the look on her face, and that said it all. She had no idea that this was going to be done. I'm sure it was a shock to her. I know she couldn't say much, but she absolutely knew nothing about this at all. And in actual fact, all the consul officials actually walked out quite quickly, mind you, because we're talking about, it was around about 11:15 when I saw them walk out. They did not stay here for the whole show. They just left. They left as quickly as they could.
Would you like this consul to now push for an apology? Has there been any apology from the organisers? Do you think they've realised that they've made a real bungle here?
Not from the official people that put the show on last night. They thought it was a fantastic show. I'm just gobsmacked how this could have possibly been allowed to happen. I just don't understand. I'm still trying to process how you do this at 11 o'clock last night on the 20th anniversary, instead of focusing on the 202 Australians, you're focusing on the actual terrorists. You're focusing on the horrifying footage and images. Now, one of a lot of the survivors were just in tears and walking out.
Okay, well, Jan, you obviously made a real effort to be there for this 20th anniversary. Aside from that footage incident, are you happy that you actually went in the first place? I mean, I just hope that this hasn't overshadowed the whole thing for you.
Well, I haven't really slept at all last night. I'm still trying to think that this was a bad dream that happened last night, because the day itself was significant. It was dignified. It was unfortunately spoiled by those two videos that were played back to back. I just still can't understand what they were thinking of achieving with those videos, particularly having Umar Patek. He's caused a lot of grief for a lot of families over the last 6 weeks. And to have him shown up on a big screen on the 20th anniversary at 11 o'clock at night, which is supposed to be the most special moment here, I mean, I still can't fathom what actually they were trying to do here. I really don't. It was an appalling miscalculation. I just hope it was just somebody who's got this totally wrong.
Gosh, really disappointing to hear. Jan, just finally, on the 20th anniversary, obviously you've had a chance for some real reflection over the last few days. Looking back 20 years on to the person you were at the time of the bombings, how has your life changed? What is your main takeout 20 years after such a horrible attack?
Well, 20 years on, I still consider myself one of the luckiest ones, because I left here by chance 2 hours earlier. If I didn't leave the Surrey Club here, 2 hours ago, as in like 2 hours the night before the bombings, I wouldn't be here. And then on the 5th anniversary, I met my wife here. So when I was lighting some candles, so in that point, I'm one of the lucky ones where I've got a family now, and for me, it's always coming back as about remembering my mates. I certainly tried to do that last night, but it was very challenging to remember my mates last night at 11 p.m. I can assure you. And I can assure you, the 202 people and 80 Australians who were here last night, it would have been enormously challenging trying to remember their loved ones as well.
Gosh, it's really sad that has overshadowed all of the well-wishers who were there for that moment. Just looking behind you, we can see it looks like there's an extraordinary amount of tributes that have been placed there at the memorial behind you.
There's lots of tributes here. There are people still coming in and showing their reflections here. You might be able to see it, I hope.
Yep, you're doing well, Jan. You're putting your camera skills to the test there, but we can see that there are people there coming to pay their respects to those 202 people who lost their lives, and plenty of floral tributes there as well. Jan Laczynski, look, we really do appreciate you joining us. Thank you for bringing us up to date with that story. And again, we're so sorry that you had that experience last night. No doubt that's something our embassy in Indonesia will be following up on, because obviously it was really a devastating end to what sounds like a beautiful day in terms of commemorating those people who lost their lives.
They're absolutely aware, because I pretty much made sure that they knew exactly what I thought. I was stunned, but they were stunned too.
Jan, thanks again for your time, and we hope the rest of your trip is trouble-free. Thanks so much.
Thank you.